This is 4K 30 frames per second on the GoPro Hero 7 Black, internal audio, handheld. Hypersmooth is on. This is 4K 30 frames per second on the iPhone XR, internal audio. See how it looks. Handheld, by the way. This is 4K 30 frames per second on the Apple iPad Pro 11-inch 2020, early 2020 model. This is also internal audio. This iPad has stereo microphones. This is handheld. Okay, this is the iPad Pro 2020 4K 30 frames per second at the wide angle lens. This is 4K 30 frames per second on the Canon EOS 5D Mark IV, handheld internal audio, single mono microphone. 17 to 40 millimeter f4L lens. Program, auto, everything, shutter, aperture, ISO. Sony a7S Mark III, 4K 30 frames per second, 422 10-bit, 140 megabits per second, full auto. Auto shutter, aperture, ISO. ISO has picked 1, 2, 5, no, it's moving around. ISO is auto, everything's auto. Handheld standard stabilization. Sony a7S Mark III, S-Log 3, ISO base 640, everything manually dialed in, 1/60 of a second f4. This is handheld with standard stabilization, 4K 30 frames per second, 140 megabits per second, 422 10-bit internal stereo audio. A7S Mark III, same as previous settings except now the active stabilization is turned on. Testing the audio. Everything auto 5D Mark IV, full HD, 30 frames per second. Everything auto full HD 30 frames per second on the 5D Mark IV HDR video mode on.